All right, returning to Civic Type R limited time series now that the service is done and we got those third tier racing dollar upgrades done as well. So sporting the new PR of 14.8, which is what's required, of course, to complete the whole limited time series to win the car. Let's take another stab at this what do we call it? Drag race, right. It is the minivan drag race. Alright. And here we go. Took a while to get going. Such a difference. Alright, one down, two more to go. Alright. Check out the gear shift. No, can't quite see it. Seems like. No, can't quite see. Ah, there we go. Alright, two down. One more to go. Is that just me, or is the driver look like buried in the seat? Like really short driving height or something here. Hardly moving the shift bar at all. Look at that. And can we see the clutch foot? Nope, can't quite see that. Oh well. They put a lot of detail into these. But perhaps that's a little bit more detail than they can implement in the game. And obviously it's not essential to the racing dynamics, but it's kind of fun. All right, so finally we can get through the tier 4 and claim our single gold trophy for 25% completion. Hooray! So there's that, and there's some 9 more gold to be won, but that's not really why we're running through this. It's the car. So here we go. Endurance is going to be the next challenge at Silverstone National. 6.2 kilometers to cover, which is a decent length, isn't it? For limited time series endurance race, and for a car like this one. All right, and we're off. So, how many laps? I'd expect at least a couple of laps. How long is a national circuit here at Silverstone? It's the shortest one. The International is a little bit longer than National, and of course the British Grand Prix, the next longer one, and the current Grand Prix configuration is the longest one. Which is what, about 5.5 kilometers, 5.3, somewhere around there, I think, the Grand Prix circuit. So national circuit. About half of that looks like 2.3 there. As we wrap around for a lap, it's going to be about 2.6 and a change. Of course, we didn't start exactly on the finish line. We're slightly behind. Or do we? We do start, I guess, more closer to the finish line for these, since we are not racing against an opponent. Alright, so we're gonna need another full lap here. And we do have some 70 plus seconds to on our clock, so somewhere about halfway, maybe about a third way into, no, about halfway into the lap 3 is how far we're gonna have to go. So let's help along with our friend here in the front. Come on, you can do it. Keep it moving. And the lap bonus, that was about 10 seconds, wasn't it? Which seems quite generous for a track this length. Alright, so there's the second place, and then 6.3. Yeah, so I would say that's maybe about a halfway point, maybe a little shorter than the halfway point in a lap. So lap 3, 2.5, maybe 2 and 2/5. All right, check out the interior. I don't think we've done that, have we? Whoa, there we go. Nice way to kick off the Tier 5 with the gold trophy, of course, with a sufficient amount of upgrades and serviced car. It's not exactly a challenge here. Alright, does take out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 service bars, which is my bigger concern running through these limited time series. Trying to minimize the wear and tear on the car. Let's move on to the next challenge, which is going to be head-to-head, a single lap head-to-head at Hockenheim Grand Prix. So it is going to be a full lap. Okay. Does that look like I have a fan turned on pretty high up? Does that look like that on the... Who races with the fan on? Do I even have an AC on? Or better yet, why is there AC in the car? I thought when we upgraded the car, we took out all the non-essential elements. Or maybe we took it all out, so where the slider for the fan control is means nothing because there's no fan attached to it, perhaps? Who knows? Oh, excuse me. Got a pretty comfortable lead. Early on in the race. Mercedes corner. Yeah, the handling of this car is so much better fully serviced. in critical condition, this car was never meant to be driven that way. It is so sluggish. Especially on takeoff, it is really testing your patience, I think. Versus fully serviced, it's actually not too bad. I mean, it's quite dandy little car, isn't it? You know, it's pretty playful. You can drift. Alright, so fully serviced. Not quite like a minivan here. Alright. Good enough for yet another gold trophy. And just one more here to wrap up another stage, tier 5. Right. By stage I meant tier, you know. Alright, and it's gonna be at Monza Junior course. PR required is 8.9 and it will be a 3-lapper. Pretty short circuit, of course, junior course. And with a fully serviced car, I expect really not much of a struggle. In fact, I expect it to be a breeze to get through these. Let's find out. Alright. There we go. Inside, outside, inside. We'll take the inside. I think there's a sufficient amount of space that they leave for us to take on the inside. There we go. A little bit of scratching on the side, I think. Might have picked up a little bit of a black paint from our opponent on the passenger side. But there we go. Open road ahead. And of course, we got the next Italian Grand Prix starting in about a day's time. So that's this would be the backdrop of that event, except it's going to be the road circuit, not the short junior circuit. So that should be good. We'll have an Italian Grand Prix series overview coming up soon, maybe later on this evening. So stay tuned for that. But for now, this limited time series, along with the Integra Type-R Championship limited time series, will expire about the time when the Italian Grand Prix opens. So I got time crunch here to get these two wrapped up before that. So I'll have to see if I can squeeze out some extra racing in these Honda Classics before that happens. But I'll get the Italian Grand Prix preview video up for you guys. Basically, I'll probably just talk about the PR requirement, which we already know, how much it's going to cost, which we already kind of know. So yeah, I don't expect there's going to be a whole lot of new information to talk about. But British Grand Prix was slightly different than the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, so I have a feeling that the Italian Grand Prix is going to be ever so much more tweaked. My thought is it's going to be a little bit more challenging than the last two. That's my thought, of course. The Italian Grand Prix being the last Grand Prix of the current version, 8.0. So the remainder, the last two, Circuit of the Americas, the American Grand Prix, and Japanese Grand Prix at Suzuka is going to be in the next release in January, I think. So they might have some more tweak on those. But, well, we can talk about that in that actual Italian Grand Prix preview video. But for now, we get to wrap up Tier 5 here and unlock Tier 6. So move on to the next tier. So see you in the next video. Stay tuned.